In the year 1838, the Cherokees were forced to move by President Van Buren and guarded by 7,000 soldiers. Here with us today, we have local researcher Brian Flood. Any thoughts on that, Brian?
Well, I'm good. I'm pleased to be here. Well, this uprose a conflict between the Americans and the Native Americans. The Native Americans felt that their rights and land that they were supposed to, raise their children upon were being taken away. And they believed that the land was given to them by the Great Spirit. So they thought it was their destiny to raise their children upon and not to be moved off their land by any force. One quote from my Native American studies was, "We have heard with painful feelings that the bounds of the land we now possess are to be drawn into very narrow limits. The land was given to us by the Great Spirit above as our common right to raise our children upon." That was by a Cherokee woman.
Interesting, Brian. You know, that quote really makes you think. Was the president making the right choice?
Well, I feel no one deserves to suffer like the Cherokees did.
Indeed, Brian. Well put. Well, moving on. How tragic was it for the Choctaws and other tribes to watch their family members suffer right in front of them?
Well, it would be hard for anyone to see their family members right in front of them suffer, and you couldn't do anything about it because they were being forced to walk along, and if they didn't keep on walking, killed as well.
Yeah. It's just hard to think that you're innocent and you just want to live a safe life with your family, and you die because of the amount of power some people have these days.
Yeah. I remember a quote from John G. Burnett. "On the morning of November 17th, we encountered a terrific sleet and snowstorm with freezing temperatures, and from that day until we reached the end of the fateful journey on March 26, 1839, the sufferings of the Cherokees were awful. The trail of exiles was the trail of death."
That's a great connection, Brian. Finally, if you were a Native American, what would you do to stop the removal?
Well, I would try to get all the chiefs and heads of the tribes to negotiate a compromise of a deal to keep the land and our tribes to thrive.
I'm very in full agreement with you, Brian. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
You heard it first here, folks. Channel 27 News.